and it's a very great new dawn that comes along with new opportunities for you to conquer the business world. And a very good morning to everywhere you're watching us from. We're coming to you live from Smart 24 TV right here, and I'm Rita Cabanyero. This is SMB, where we will be bringing you a lot of updates coming your way. Do not miss out. Make sure you stay with us. And coming from is the SMB reports. We will be also experiencing an insight, but do not forget that we're going to bring for you a weather forecast and what you will be expecting towards weather highlights from the different areas around the country. Also, where we will be engaging experts and also analyzing various of the critics arising from the Ukraine and Russia war today. Not forgetting everything about commodities and as well as new business information coming your way. You can always be a part of us across the country or as anywhere you're watching us from by simply downloading your TV channel, and it is always easier to use MTN while downloading that. You can access Smart 24 TV anywhere, anytime. And also make sure you be part of the conversation on our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages by simply subscribing to Smart 24 TV and checking out our website at Smart 24 TV. I'm Rita Cabanyero at Rita Cabanyero. And now first let us head into the SMB reports, what they have, what it all entails for us. This is where we bring to you reports that are detailed for you to understand and perhaps get motivated this day. Well, we begin with MPs protesting on government move to emerge Women Entrepreneurship Fund with the PDM, that is the Parish Development Model. Now the Uganda Women Parliamentary Association have voted to reject the proposed alignment of the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program into the Parish Development Model. Flavia Kabahenda, the Chegegwa District Women MP, together with the Uganda lawyers, said that the move will limit women accessing a lot of resources from that particular containment. Let us have more on this. We do return to discuss about this particular story.
In January 2022, Auditor General's report raised the concerns over the management of Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, especially delays in the disbursement of funds by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. The Uganda Women Parliamentary Association have therefore voted to reject the proposed alignment of the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program into the Parish Development Model. Flavia Kabahenda, the Chegegwa District Woman Member of Parliament, who doubles as the chairperson, Parliamentary Committee of Gender, Labour and Social Development, noted that this will limit women's access to resources.
But what pleases me is that UWEP has not been merged. We have succeeded. That UWEP is not merged. I know that YLP is being merged. They were attempting to even merge the special grants for PWDs, which we have saved. I'm glad that UWEP is saved, because what shows me it is saved is that in the budget call circular that has come, they have provided some money for running the secretariat. For us, that is a step. The money is not enough, but to us, the mere gesture of allocating money to UWEP tells us that UWEP has been saved, so that they can collect the money that is with the women groups equivalent to around 125 billion and continue to revolve it and grow it, because for us as women, we are looking at a women's bank in future. By revolving this money slowly, we can do the Bangladesh model, and in the times to come, you will see us with a women's bank in this country, where women will get their financing for their small businesses and informal businesses at cheaper rates, and then we developed this country together.
So Kabahenda urged that if Women Council protested being merged because of the affirmative action, Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program especially should be saved, because unlike Parish Development Model that has no policies, UWEP has a policy, and therefore there is no reason as to why PDM without policies can kill UWEP.
UWEP is saved, much as the threat was so high, and we are going to continue to engage His Excellency to ensure that UWEP stays there. Why? Because it is UWEP that can reach the lowest woman. When you talk about parish development model, it is good. It is coming with agribusiness. And you know that you can't talk about agribusiness unless you have land, because it is the basic resource on which agribusiness is done. How many women have land? 68% of women don't own land. So there is nowhere they will do the agribusiness. They will have to be subjected to their usual tormentors over the money of PDM. And yet UWEP was handling and addressing the women who sell mukene, the women who sell tomatoes on their mats, the women who sell yellow bananas, those low-class women, most of whom are single mothers, can only survive on UWEP money because it is appropriate to them.
Kawahenda noted that amalgamating UWEP to PDM will return the women to the difficult position of competing for resources and subjected them to original tormentors who they know, and yet they are grappling with a number of things like gender-based violence, burden of care, non-access to factors of production, unpaid care, teenage pregnancies, adding that they can't afford to go back and start struggling with the men for the little resources.
But PDM needs a higher class of women and not the UWEP ones who are doing low-class informal sector. They are juakalis, basically. And so I'm glad that the Ministry of Finance has considered to put some money, though very, very little, to run the operations of the Secretariat of UWEP. And I'm sure from there we shall start a discussion and a dialogue to ensure that more money comes, more advocate partners are attracted, to the extent that the UWEP can serve the lowest woman.
In 2015, World Bank reported that women in Uganda make up more than half of the Uganda's agricultural workforce, and a higher proportion of women than men work in farming. But despite contributing biggest chunk in agricultural production, Uganda Bureau of Statistics in 2013 reported that women own 28% land in Uganda. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Very well, and there is at least a protest from government move on towards women emerging into women entrepreneurship fund emerging with the parish development model, and the chairperson there expressing her concern towards this one. Sonko, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay. And it's also a very good note that we do start the month of March speaking about women entrepreneurship. I've seen a number of innovations and a number of initiatives that have actually come on board to support the women innovations and businesses, plus the skills as well. So it is quite insightful and quite, let's say, encouraging for the side of the females to learn that they're supposed to continue growing their businesses, but they have that support, more so from the government.
Yes, but again, it is coming along with now a protest whereby the entrepreneurship fund for women is being merged together into the parish development model. That means there is going to be limited access of these women getting the fund they were getting from entrepreneurs. And you were hearing Flavia there, who was highlighting that this fund earlier on that was being gotten for women, especially those selling mukene on the road, selling maybe merchandise or products on the road, but now they're going to be limited. But the question or the concern here is how many women of which are or of whom are selling products on the roads or produces on the roads like tomatoes, regardless really, have got an attached parish where they are coming from, especially if we are to speak about Kampala here. Well, are they then registered?
Well, most of the women are registered under their circles. That is what I really know. Because women tend to have that, let's say, sisterhood in them. They tend to have a general unity, and their general unity is always under the circles, these different circles. So what I definitely look at here is that some of these women do think it wise to actually converge under the savings and cooperative groups. So I believe the reason as to why they were actually against this issue is, like you said, the limited funding. One, because the 17 million may not be able to actually cater for all these circles from the women, because in most cases these circles have even people who are not in the same parishes. So that means if you give it to a different angle of, let's say, the women in entrepreneurship program, then the funding is going to be limited or less than what they've actually been getting throughout the entire time when they were still under the entrepreneurship group.
Yeah, you're right. Especially people living around Kampala, not only women but men. I mean, we come from wherever we come from to find greener pastures, and you will realize that the first thing that you will be doing is coming around town, and you're not even going to think about going to be registered with the LOC1 or the local authority where you will be living. So that one again is limiting authorities in the other hand to tell who is living in their area. For example, I don't know where you're settling in right now, where you're watching us from, but I am challenging you. You may find that you're not even registered with the LOC1 where you're settling, or you don't even know the LOC1 chairperson of your area. And we have seen crime rates highly even highlighting that more. So my concern here is even when these women are in the city doing business, being, operating, and when you happen to ask them about the PDM, you were sharing with us your experience, that was the day before, where you interacted with some and they do not know about the parish development model really. And I mean, is it not even okay for them not to know about it? If even they do not know the LOC1 chairperson of their place, they are not even registered there. That means they're out of that category. You get.
And I think one of the reasons that's why I was given for why they don't know is also the sensitization part of it.
Okay.
And then the other issue was implementation of the previous, the likes of the EMIOGA, because some of these people do believe even when government sets in all these funds and all these initiatives, they don't benefit. Government only sets on board these things to actually show it to the world that, hey, we are approving or we are providing, but at the end of the day, the individuals claim they don't receive anything, or they are bosses. In most cases, most of them believe government releases these funds, but the leaders who are supposed to enforce do not do so. So I think now this is where the women are actually facing a challenge in accepting this, because I do believe women leadership, once they are under their own circles, has always been a more effective one.
Yes.
Because at least they know how to follow up on every issue. They know how to actually manage their savings. So they do believe when this happens, of merging the parish development model and all this, they haven't even seen or tested how it is going to work effectively. So it will become a challenge for them to accept it.
Very, and you're right. So the government would have highlighted very well that, you know what, let the parish development model be effectively implemented around rural areas, more so rural areas. At least we have got outcasts of the city areas like maybe Greater Kampala, you find areas like Wakiso. In those areas, people have got parishes, yes, but there is also a population that is not even registered, because those are still highly populated, areas that have got a lot of, they accommodate a lot of people, and people are not even registered under particular, maybe particular livelihoods. So that comes as a challenge. And whereas government would say, you know what, the PDM, let it go for, rural areas more so, and highlighting it very clearly that, you know what, let us now emerge, or let us focus on circles or women's circles for the town dwellers or for the urbanized. For example, people working around town here, more so in downtown. Now we don't have street vendors in Kampala city or in the CBD, but you will realize that in more so other markets or markets associated around the city here, you find a lot of women there, and they have got their designated circles. So if government would disperse money into their circles, like you said, that could work. And also the concern here of the chairperson of gender social development, Flavia, here highlighting on how the women association for the women entrepreneurship fund that was now emerged with the PDM is really going to face limitation, and I do agree, because government is not going now to look at the women fund, but rather it has conjoined it with the parish development, where there is now enrollment of agro-produce, agro-production, but how many people are directly, how many women, for example, around our town here are directly into agro-business, where they're almost selling products. They're selling produces, they're selling yields, they're not directly into that. So to me, it is going to limit. Maybe if government could come out and maybe pull out that fund to be independent, but also the fund already is not enough.
Well, it
highlighting the 17
million for
the parish development model.
And when you take it into a situation whereby a world report that came back from the World Bank as we're summing up with this reported that women in Uganda make up more than half of Uganda's agricultural workforce. So this is which means that a higher proportion of women than men are already in farming. So already even the highest target of the parish development model may be for the women more especially. But then speaking of the parish development model still, on the other news report that we do have, did you know that the beneficiaries should have a clear business plan to access these funds? Now we're back onto the tactics here. As following the launch of the parish development model by President Museveni, because Agnes Chirabo did say we need to be very tactical. So when we say you need to have a business plan, it takes us back to the tactics that you have to provide. And then you say, well, this is my business plan. This is how I'm going to use the money for. So then they can clearly look at it and say, okay, now this parish or these people, individuals, deserve this amount of money. Then. And following the launch of the parish development model by President Museveni on the 26th of February, people and among villages are set to benefit from the parish development model program, more so those under different parishes. But according to Bishop Samuel, who is from the Office of the East African Affairs, these must present a clear business plan to access the money. Samuel Chirimonda did catch up with him, and he was giving us an insight of the parish development model. And let's take a look at this.
Following the launch of Parish Development Model on 26th February 2022 by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, there are concerns that few people will get this money. President Museveni launched the Parish Development Model in Chibuku District in Bukedisa region. The Parish Development Model aims at helping people from parish level to increase their household incomes and joining the money economy. In an exclusive interview with the Head of Communications and Media Relations at the Ministry of East African Community Affairs, Uganda, Bishop Samuel revealed that no one will get on that money without a business plan, and people at villages will know that the money has come.
What you need to do is to ensure that really you have a business plan to qualify for this money. It is not just going to be free money, because the government is putting in efforts to ensure that you come out from that situation you're in right now to another situation. So there should be a business plan that you have to take to the committee in order to qualify for this money. Therefore, the parish model committees, the sub-county planning committee, the chief administrative officers, the COWs, the town clerk, the district ex-officials, these are the MPs, they are to tiptoe on this money to ensure that it gets to the beneficiaries, and the beneficiaries also, that the money they have put it to good use. However, even the beneficiaries to get the money, a co-guarantor has to be coming from the village. Okay? So these people, they know themselves. They will not say, Kirimunda qualifies for that money. Yet they know you always very well that when you get money, you go out and you go and drink it out. No one will guarantee you or for that money. They will not give it to you. So basically, the co-guarantors are coming from these villages. That means people know one another.
Bishop Samuel also said that government is putting in more efforts to ensure that those in worse situations can be in a right one, and different committees will supervise it at all levels. Furthermore, he said the beneficiaries who are going to get on the money should be guaranteed, and people at villages know themselves. While giving highlights, corruption will not be there, and if it happens, accounting officers will be answerable for that.
These committees First of all, they are going to work together with the people on the villages. These people are going to speak for themselves what they need. It is not now someone coming from anywhere to think for someone that I think we should do this for these people. No. A village will be like, okay, for us, you would have done this A, B, C, D for us. It is better off that way. So these parish committees are going to work together with the people in the villages. But however, we have, besides the parish development model committees, we have sub-county planning committee, we have chief administrative officers, those are counts, and town clerks. These are the same people actually who will ensure that money doesn't go wrong anywhere, because they will be answerable. The government has trained in consultation with the village chairpersons, government has trained the people nominated by the chairpersons of those villages who will be training others. Of course, I have to say, but you see, it's also very bad that some people are very careless, that such a program has come and they think they are less concerned about it. You need to understand that there is a portion of some Ugandans who choose not to want to know anything. They choose it. But sincerely speaking, government has done everything possible to educate Ugandans, and in every language, and in every local language, not only English, but in every local language.
Bishop Samuel also cautioned those people who are defiant to no government programs, yet they know that this disturbs peace and freedom, yet they grasp very quickly, and he also urges Ugandans to understand programs that eradicate poverty and take them seriously. He emphasized that leaders need to educate the people at all costs.
This is what I was saying, that some people choose not wanting to know anything. They can choose that, by the way. They choose it. But yet information is available. Those who want to know, they know, and they get the information. How come when there are some useless activities to disorganize other people's peace and freedoms, that one they grasp it very quickly, and it can run everywhere on social media? How come that a program that is intended to eradicate poverty at household level, it is not given the same energy as those useless programs? Are you trying to tell me that those programs sometimes are here around that want to disorganize other people's freedoms? Who pays for that? All people do it deliberately. How come that this one they don't have the spirit, okay, to make sure that, okay, other people can know? So it has to be a collective responsibility. And that's why I take you back and I tell you that our leaders have to play a major role in educating Ugandans on parish model. Why? They are being given tools and mandate to do so. Most especially the MPs who have a monthly constituency allowance. Really, what excuse are you going to give to Ugandans?
The 490 billion shillings parish development model replaces EMIOGA, a presidential initiative on wealth and job creation which was rolled out in October 2020 to support, among others, market vendors, welders, taxi drivers, border riders, women and restaurant owners who come together in form of circles. It is an extension of the approach to development as envisaged under the National Development Plan 3, with the parish as the lowest administrative and operational hub for delivering services closer to the people and hence fostering local economic development. There are over 10,594 parishes in the country. Story reported and compiled by Samuel Chirumunda for SMB.
Bishop, they're highlighting that some Ugandans choose not to know about any programming.
They choose now to defy. I believe at one point I will agree with what he says. Why in most cases you find out that Ugandans may have an idea that because they are biased of how the recent initiatives have been ongoing, or the different fundings from government have been utilized, I believe now they choose to just not listen to anything regarding the same matter, because you will see even in some engagements that you meet with the locals and you tell them, now have you heard about the parish development model? So that means this one is just even resisting.
So we are not embracing, embracing sustainable development, because we're welcoming it with the resistance.
We have that bias already.
We are biased because of the misuse, even the poor allocation of funds.
So the leaders have put us into that situation.
Not poor, but inadequate allocation of funds have led, citizens astray, highlighting that, you know what, this is not meant for me. Some Ugandans or some even dwellers, whether rural or urban, tend to know that, this service is not meant for me. It's meant for some other people, even when it is directly onto you. Just like this model, it is onto a household setting. And like he highlighted there, if you know among yourselves, you've got a drunkard, like I was citing.
You didn't mention of that yesterday, that there are some people who,
you have to know your family, yes.
You know that this particular person cannot utilize these funds well. Then that means he or she shouldn't represent you, because he may represent you, or even your leader. Sometimes you look at your leader and you're like, now if they give this one this particular amount of money, he's either going to carry on a wedding, or he's going to buy a new vehicle. That is when you will see your chairman or you see your parish chief driving a new ride. At the end of the day, you see him making some... I
don't think that money is going to be enough for them to drive even a car. But at least they can ride a bicycle or a Bajaj or a border really. So if you see some highlights like that, you better question. So do you think they should also register assets, just like the IGG was highlighting a week back on towards members of parliament or any authorities, government servants? So should they, the people coming on committee, be registered with their assets, liabilities, to know what Sonko ainaka guard? But before this program starts, Sonko has already Sonko has got his own, house he has built. He has his own plantation at some point, because after a very short period, this is going to help evaluate how the system has been working, or evaluate the implementation use of fund. You will realize just after a month, the disbursement of money has happened. Just like you say, someone is now getting married, but that one shouldn't be attached really.
No,
maybe had a plan of marriage.
When you look at that,
but there are things that can indicate that this one is swindling. Like what things? Because
like luxury, once someone is test of life changes, let's say his tastes and preferences. For instance, there is money that has been allocated, and now you all know. But then you're trying to go and access these funds. There are some politics behind it, and someone is telling you, well, government has not yet released, or we are going to receive in installments. But then
we are going to be coming to you.
But then you see his lifestyle is now changing. He's adopting to a new lifestyle, and then you wonder how fast do these things turn around. Then you will definitely know. That is where you could see that people will definitely start pointing fingers at their leaders, and they're like, well, now this guy...
All right, that is it for the parish development model, and it's still a big topic around the country. We will continue engaging more people to seek on their highlights and also insights for more motivation and also knowledge regarding how it will be carried on. We take a break. SNB continues. After the break with the SNB across borders.